Hi, and welcome back to another episode on how to hack. So today we're going to discuss about network file sharing. So again, you may have network file sharing on your computers, on your mobile devices, on your network file sharing systems, and even your computers. So again, you may have network attached storage and the likes. And all these are subjected to exploitation. And computer hackers want to look for specific file sharing systems that you have that may contain very sensitive information. And from there on, they can actually get very detailed information about your system through different exploitation by mounting your drive, looking at different accessibility, writability folders. And from there, they can actually further the attack to a privilege escalation very quickly. So it's very important to have configuration that supports and harden your environment, especially against specific security standards like Center for Internet Security. So today we're going to kickstart our tutorial very quickly on how we can actually exploit network file sharing systems using SMB. And then from there on, how can we actually further the attack getting usernames and password immediately. So let's kickstart the tutorial today. So on the left side of the screen, I have Kali Linux running, and I can go ahead and zoom in so it's easier for you to see. So I can enter the ifconfig, and we are going to get the IP address of 192.168.1.24. And on the right side of the screen, we actually have Metasploitable 2 running. So again, I can enter ifconfig, and we can see very clearly the IP address is 192.168.1.25. So again, the Metasploitable 2, which is on the .25, is the victim machine. And on the left side, it is the Kali Linux machine, which is the attacking machine. So again, there are many different techniques that we are performing today to actually gain access into the system. So the first thing we want to do is actually using this tool called enumerate for Linux. So when you enter enumerate for Linux, you can actually see the different kind of parameters you can access into. So over here, we can see that this is a simple wrapper, and we are going after Sambar packages and the different options like user list, -U, machine list, share list, password policy, and the likes. So these are the different parameters that we can add in to actually speed up our information gathering across an entire enterprise environment. So we're going to go ahead and enter enumerate for Linux followed by -U, a small o, and 192.168.1.25. So this is going to enumerate the target machine and let us know what kind of information that we can get. So very quickly, we get all of the information. And if you go back up to the very beginning when we actually began and executed this command, we can see that the target information is on 192.168.1.25. And we are able to get the known domain, the known usernames like administrator, guest, KRB, TGT, domain admins, and the likes. And it's running on a workgroup domain. And again, we are seeing that this server actually allows sessions using no username and no password. So you can immediately access into the system very quickly. So this is very dangerous. So there's a lot of misconfiguration on this victim machine that we see over here. So again, we have the OS version, and over here we can see the users. So we're able to filter and to share and to get those exfiltrate those usernames within the machine. So we have games, we have nobody, bind, proxy, syslog. So again, all of these accounts could have different services permission, and all these services permissions allow the system to actually run different kind of parameters. So again, it could be specific to Proscro. Proscro is a SQL database, or it could be a FTP daemon, it could be a daemon, a secure shell, and the like. So we can clearly see that there are usernames that are being created to actually provide different services. And of course, there's also MSF admin that I'm actually logged into right now on the victim machine. So again, we can see the activities of the usernames and the list of users over here very quickly. So this allows us to speed up the process of identifying the usernames that we want to inject into the machine. So this is great. This allows us a lot of information right now. And we can also use another tool called mmap that will actually help us recognize, again, the above information. So we're trying to cross-check the information that we have gathered. And this is very important, especially as a penetration tester. You want to find out what kind of information that is going to come in from the different kind of scripts, the different kind of tools that you use, or even if it's self-built tool, again, you want to cross-check your information so that you are better able to be precise on exactly the information that you found, and then be able to launch a very specific attack against the machine that you're going after. So over here, we're running a script, NSC script, and again, scrolling up right exactly where we executed it. We're going on port 445, and we can see that we are able to find a name called backup bean. So again, all these are common user names, and we see that some of these accounts are being disabled. So again, we also see there's an MSF admin, there's a MySQL database. So again, many different usernames, and it tallies exactly with the information that we received earlier using enumerate for Linux. So with this information, we can actually further our attempt and our attack. So we can go ahead and launch Metasploit. So again, Metasploit has a lot of auxiliary modules for us to scan for SMB services. So again, we are trying to advance our capabilities here to understanding what kind of information that we can gather from. So very, very quickly, if you go to Call Linux and you go to Browse Network, and you can actually go to other locations. So some of the things you can do is, for example, you can do SMB. So this will actually help you connect into the machine and find out what are the open share folders. So again, like I mentioned earlier, today is finding out about the network shares, the file system shares within your machine. So if I double click OPT, again, let me try to connect as anonymous. Again, we are failing to connect as anonymous. So I'm going to cancel that, and I'm going to go to temporary. So let's connect to temporary using anonymous login. So immediately, very quickly, we are able to see that we are having access into this environment of the temporary folder within the victim machine. So of course, we can create a new folder. Let's see if we have the permission to write into the folder. So I click create task. So this meant that we have access, writable access into the temporary folder within the victim machine. So this means that we can do a lot more things. And one of the things that we can do now that we have launched Metasploit is to actually use this auxiliary module. So just enter use auxiliary followed by admin followed by SMB, and then followed by somebar symbolic link. So again, somebar symbolic link will actually help us create a symbolic link within a temporary folder, and within the folder it will create a directory that allows us complete access of the root directory of the victim machine. So this is a very powerful tool. So you have to be extra careful thinking about the files, the network shares that you are sharing out into the network, because you're subjected to exploit. So enter show options. So all you got to do is enter the R host of 192.168.1.25. So again, this is the victim machine. On the right side, that's running a Metasploitable 2. And on the left side, we have Call Linux. So once you set the R host, you also got to set the SMB share. So of course, the SMB share, as we are aware of, is actually TMP. So once you set that, you can go ahead and enter exploit. So exploit over here, again, we're getting an error because I have already created the link. So if we go back to the file, we can see that there's a rootfs. So if you go into the rootfs, you can actually see the files, the folder directories of the victim machine. So once you have that, you can actually exit from Metasploit once you have completed the exploit. So over here, we have complete access. We can go to the home folder. We can see into the MSF admin. We can see CHK rootkit. We can see, again, many different information within the victim machine. Furthermore, so now that we have the symbolic link, we can actually use a tool called SMB client that help us connect directly into the share folder. So for example, if I go to 192.168.1.25 and then I enter SMB client followed by temp. So this is allowing us to access into. So we have anonymous login. Remember earlier during our enumeration, our reconnaissance, we recognized that we can log into the machine without any username and password. So that's really a misconfiguration on the server end. So again, we can cd to rootfs. So over here we can enter cd etc, for example, do our ls. We can see all of the information within the victim machine. And of course, we also want to see what is in the passwd. So in the passwd, over here, we can actually see all those information. So if you remember earlier, these are some of the usernames that we have enumerated: GNATS, SCS, Bean, Damon, etc. So again, all these are the information that we very, very quickly managed to find out within the system. So there you've seen how quickly we could actually gain access into the system once we managed to secure a writable folder in the environment So again, you may have hundreds of computers, servers, systems, network attached storage area networks. So you got to be able to harden across all of these devices so that when the hackers get into your environment, as they do all this scanning that you may have learned from the previous tutorials, how are you able to ensure that they do not have ability to further the attack from a file sharing into a complete exploit and take over a system? So that's a very important key point that you want to be able to take advantage of later on. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll try my best to answer any of your questions. And of course, if you enjoy what you've just watched, feel free to subscribe. And thank you so much for watching today's tutorial.